What's up, guys? You are on the air and off the books with Beth Ann and Samantha. And today we have two guests. We have Lori and Doug here.
Hello.
And for this episode, we decided to do a Christmas book swapsies. So what we did is we put our names in a hat. Well, we didn't really have a hat.
What was it?
It was a hand. We put our names in a hand, and we mixed it all up, and we each drew a name. And I ended up getting Doug, and Beth Ann, who'd you have?
I had Lori.
Lori, okay. And then you had Doug.
I had Beth Ann.
Beth Ann. And Lori had me, Samantha. And so what we did is we read these books, and we are going to discuss them today to see what we all thought about them and to see if we did bad book suggestions or good book suggestions.
So it's really reader's advisory.
Yes. And
throw that in there.
And we can count this as our reader's advisory dare for the summer.
True.
The
That
reading.
is true. I didn't think about
2022.
And we can do this for you, for anyone that wants reader's advisory help.
Yeah, that's very true. Because what we did was we just kind of wrote like a little bit saying like what we liked, what we really didn't like, so we wouldn't like have something that was really bad. So
yes.
like I definitely put in there no romance whatsoever.
Absolutely nothing about romance.
Please don't do it.
And I so badly wanted to buy you a romance.
Oh, you should have. You should have bought her like a Colleen Hoover novel.
Oh,
I'm with you, no romance.
I can't do it. I just
You
can't.
guys are killing me. Killing me.
You read enough romance for all of us.
I know. I really do. All right, Beth Ann, you can go first.
What
What was your book?
Okay, it's Pest Control by Bill Fitzhugh.
I think so.
I think that's how you say it. And I'm not done with it. Shocker. I know, I'm not done with it. But, okay.
I gave it to her, by the way, over a month ago.
Yes, that's what Samantha said before we got back here. She was like, you had over a month to read it. I know. Okay, but the font is literally this big. And the markers
For those
are
of you who
literally
can't
this
see, there
big.
is no space between your fingers.
It is so small. Okay, and it was really hard to get into at first. I'm not going to lie. Okay, so I was going into it with this whole other idea because I didn't, like, read the back of it before I started it or anything. I just kind of, like, was like, this is going to be about, like, bugs that kill people or something like that, okay?
Like Spiders, the movie.
Yes, or, like, I don't know. So when I started getting into it, I realized, I was like, okay, I need to stop, and I need to read the back of this. So I read the back, and then I read all the little forewords and stuff in the book. And it's actually like a Broadway musical now, I think. And they're like trying to produce it for like...
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
And they're trying to produce it for like a television show.
The book is older. It came out in, what, the mid-90s? Do you remember?
Yes, because it talks about Looney Tunes, so...
That's how you know it's old.
That's how you know. Hey. Hold on. Back up. No. I'm so sad. Anyway. So I got through like the first 6 or 7 chapters and I was just like, what am I going to do? Like, what am I going to say? I really don't like it. I was so upset. I was like, I'm going to be the only one that doesn't like this book. Why don't I like this book? But I went further and then it started getting really, really funny. Okay? Because it started off at like a 2. And now it's like at a 4. Okay, so hopefully
Out of 5 or out of 10?
out of 5.
Oh, okay. I thought that was 10 too, and I was like,
she still doesn't
I
like
always
it.
rate it out of 5.
Wow,
Yes. So
okay.
So what it is about essentially is about this guy who does pest control, and he gets fired from his job because he doesn't like to use pesticides. And so his wife is freaking out because they don't have any money, and he's like, no worries, I'm gonna start my own business using these assassin bugs to breed them and then like use them to kill pests like naturally or whatever. So he goes off on this thing and he like there's an ad in this paper that comes out. Okay.
I'm intrigued.
I'm getting weird looks from Lori Hugley, but it gets better than that.
What did you suggest?
So the ad in the paper comes out and it's actually this company who's wanting an exterminator, but it's actually an ad like reaching out for an assassin. So he answers this ad thinking like
It's bug related.
is going to kill pests. Well, their pests are a little different than the pests that he wants to kill. So he takes this picture of himself drunk with his exterminator hat on, and they think he's like the most terrifying thing in the world. So they come to his house, and he like answers the door in his ant boxers and his exterminator hat, and this guy's like shaking, holding this paper, like, like the deal, $50,000 to kill our pest, quote unquote. And he's like showing them around his house with all his like poison books and all his like crazy bugs on the walls, and the guy's like literally shaking in his boots, and he's thinking like, I'm gonna kill rats for $50,000. Well, when they get down to it, he was just like, wait, no, I can't kill like that kind of pest. Like, I'm a pest control guy. He's trying to make this guy understand. He's like, oh, you want more money, so we'll give you $100,000. Just let us know when you get this done. And he's just like, no, wait. So the guy like runs out of the house, gets in his limo. He's like, I barely made it out of there alive. Like, and this dude's in here like, I don't know what to do. I can't take this job. So he doesn't take the job. Well, the guy he was like trying to be paid to kill gets in a car accident and dies. So they think
that he did
he
it.
got this guy. Okay, they send him $100,000 for not killing anybody. He makes it on the top 10 list for the most wanted assassins, I think, in the U.S. or in the world. And he's now like being hunted down as this crazy assassin because they start linking all of these other unexplained deaths to this guy. And he's never killed anybody in his life.
Oh my goodness.
So it's actually, once you really like get into the middle of it, hilarious. It's just, he explained, my only beef is he explains every single little detail. I read a whole chapter about killer honeybees.
You know a lot about bugs.
Yes, by the time I will be done with it, I'll be an expert.
Bug pro.
Yeah. And I'm terrified of bugs. Like, they are the literal...
That's perfect.
I literally...
That's almost cruel.
So, but it was really funny toward, like, when I was really getting into it and everything. I think, like the beginning of it, the chapter where he was having that interaction with that guy was the best one. I laughed through the whole thing. It was really, really funny. I just really hate that. I spent a whole chapter reading about honeybees for no reason. That's the only thing that I don't like, is that he's like, who's the guy who writes War of the Worlds? H.G. Wells. He describes every blade of grass and every single drip of water on that grass. And then you don't even get to see the aliens. Like, he just bypasses all this stuff and thinks that, your surroundings and, like, your senses and everything are more important. But to me, it's not.
You want the juice.
I want the action, right? But it is funny. And I know who I would recommend it to now. Like, Kingery would love this book. He already did when I explained to him. He's like, I think I'd really love this book. And I think you would too. Like, this is for you. And he was like getting existential on me about the Looney Tunes thing versus like the natural world. And I was like, here you go. Like, this is for you. But it wasn't bad. I was worried, but it's not a bad book, and I will finish it.
Are you gonna? That's what I was gonna ask.
Yes, I am going to.
It will take 5 years.
It will take me a little while. I know. I'm sorry. It will take me a little while, but I will get that book read. I do like it. So yes, great suggestion.
So
it took me way out of my comfort zone.
Well, full disclosure. So we did write down what we like and what we don't like and blah 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 blah. Beth Ann's was a page long.
I did. I'm sorry.
And
I really threw that on you. I'm sorry.
But then right in the middle of it, under likes, it said assassins. And I remembered this book, which I read when it first came out. So it's been, a long time since I've read that book. But I was like, oh, I have a perfect book about assassins. And it's funny. So that's the whole reason I ended up getting
Most books about assassins are not funny.
I know, but
they're
this
not
one
meant to be
is.
funny. Yeah.
It's good. It's really good.
Yay.
Oh no.
Okay, Lori, you go next.
Beth Ann gave me Stone the Dead Crows by Carrie McGillan.
Yes, I think.
Magellan?
I don't know these last names.
It is number 2 in a series called the Sharif Thrillers, but it is certainly a standalone book. I did not read number 1. I believe there's a psychologist in each series, and that he's the ongoing character, but you don't need to know that. I loved this book.
Yes.
Yay.
I've recommended this book to several people who love, and I would just get the text message, OMG! It's got a huge twist. It's a psychological thriller. It's 3 sisters. I listened to the audiobook, so each chapter is a different sister, and then it's the 3 sisters all going through different struggles. That one sister's in a coma, and so it's the other 2 dealing with their sister being in a coma. One is newly married and has some issues with emotional abuse. They call it coercive control, that she doesn't recognize until she meets the psychologist that's there helping her sister. He was her sister's psychologist. And so there's some issues with that she's realizing as she goes along, that her new wonderful surgeon husband maybe isn't all he's cracked up to be. And I won't say a whole lot because it really is a huge twist at the end, but it is really, really good. And I will go back and read the first one in the series just to see if it's as good.
Awesome.
But I loved it.
Because I haven't read it.
You haven't read it? You would like it.
What's it called again?
Stone the Dead Crows.
I went through like a million books. I was like, she's gonna get one and she's not gonna like it. Because like I wrote a page and you wrote like this much.
Yeah, I like anything the psychological thriller. I like murder. I like assassins. I like serial killers, which sounds all very, very demented and sick. But
That's what I like.
That's what I like. So it was perfect. And like I said, everyone I've recommended it to has loved it. So it's a good book. And like I said, I will read number 1.
What would you rate it?
Oh, I'd say a 5 out of 5 for sure.
Oh, wow.
It's one of my favorite I've read so far.
Wow.
You did good.
You did really good.
Thanks.
I've read several this year that I really, really have enjoyed and liked. One of them Sam's going to talk about, and I read it and
really
liked
love
it.
it.
So, any good psychological thriller, I can steer you the right way on that one. But I did like it.
Awesome.
Yay. Doug.
All right. So Samantha gave me this book, and I'm not sure if she even read what I like and dislike. Did you?
Yes.
Okay.
Oh no.
So it's called The Passenger, a novel by Lisa Lutz. So she's evidently written some other books, and this one's a couple of years old, but not that old. So I will admit to when I first started reading it, I really was hoping I would hate
An
it.
agony over here.
I know.
Tears.
And that's why I was hoping I would hate it, because she promised that she would cry
Oh no.
on air if I hated it, and I thought that makes for good entertainment.
Almost there.
But so it's not what I would normally read, and I was really alarmed because the back compared it to Gone Girl, and I have never read Gone Girl, but I hated the movie.
Yeah, I was gonna say I didn't like
So I don't like. I want a story that has where you fall in love with the protagonist for whatever reason, even if they're flawed. If they're flawed, all the better. And that's what I ended up getting. So
okay.
the
So
narrator,
she did listen.
maybe she did, because it's told from the character's point of view, and right away there's a dead person in her house, and it happens to be her husband. And
That happens.
instead of
Now and again.
and she goes to great lengths to decide if she's going to try and cover up the body. Nah, just leave it there. What the heck? And gets all her stuff
Did
together
she kill it?
and goes on. Says she didn't.
But she wants to cover up the body?
Well, because she believes that she'll probably get accused of his murder. He fell down the stairs. I'm using air quotes. Fell down the stairs.
That happens.
And
Yeah. Every day.
and died.
Oh no.
And so that's the way it starts out. So it actually did. It started strong because here's this narrator that you're supposed to believe, and you right away you're like, I don't know if I trust this person.
At all.
No, yeah, because she's not concerned about her dead husband. She's concerned about getting her worldly belongings together and fleeing. And then she contacts some shadowy figure who wires her money.
What?
Because we all have one of those in the corner.
Exactly.
What kind of a backup plan does
Because
this woman have?
she has this backup plan, and
Just in case he falls down the steps.
so I'll try not to spoil it too much because it really was interesting. I will say the only thing I didn't like about it, in the middle it gets a little bogged down, because what she does is she goes from identity to identity. She identity jumps throughout this book, trying to stay ahead of the law because she knows she's going to be wanted. She's a person of interest, I guess, in her
I'm
husband's
so
murder.
confused by this. What did you suggest?
Did you read this, Sam? Samantha?
I
She
did
has not yet,
Okay.
and she wants to, so I'm going to give this to her.
I will say that I
but-
only picked it because of the main character description.
and it's all about the main character. I
Yeah.
mean, that's what this book is. It's this woman
She's shady as heck.
she's shady, but she's like 1 minute stupid, the next minute super cunning, and then there's these emails that are out of time that are in the
What?
book between somebody named Joe and somebody named Ryan, and they're not even characters in the book. But they are, maybe. Don't want to spoil
I'm
it.
intrigued enough. I might have to
So-
read.
Did you hate it or did you like it?
I would give it a 4 out of 5.
I did good.
And I would
It's not bad.
just
That's
because
not
the character
bad.
is really strong and it's intriguing. It's what dumb thing is she gonna do next?
Yeah.
And
Is it
she
fast
gets
paced?
mostly, and that's the only thing I didn't like. In the middle, it does sort of
Oh.
get bogged down because she goes
Okay,
into
I see.
great detail talking about
Hey.
doing this and that,
I'm
trying
with
to
you
up
guys.
her identity, and
I
I
want
know
to
more
just
than I
get
need
to
to
the
know about
juice.
Killer
so
Bees.
stupid. So yeah, so it did bog down a little bit in the middle, but for
Yeah.
the most part, it was one of those books that I wanted to keep picking up. I can't wait till I have time to read so I can get to this book again.
So I
So-
Okay,
succeeded.
you did
So for me,
win.
that was a win.
Yes.
You did win. Okay. Okay.
No crying.
I'm still confused about the book, honestly. I'm gonna
Samantha
have to
did
read
not cry.
the synopsis of it when I get on the desk. So I
Yeah.
can-
It sounded
And-
weird.
It does.
And I like
doesn't
that-
sound like
She goes
she
through.
obviously sounds guilty if she's
Yeah,
running.
when you have a man figure in the shadows,
So these are the.
you're guilty of
And you're
something.
jumping identities.
Well, because these are the contents, the table of contents. These are the chapter titles: Tanya Du Bois, Amelia Keene, Deborah Mays, Emma Lark, Sonia Lubavitch, Paige,
Whoa.
Joe, Nora Glass,
So those are all her identities.
and those are all the identities she goes
So
through.
she's
and
got a
one of
shady
them's-
past.
and one of them's real,
Is there a twist?
but which one? Not real. I mean, I saw everything coming.
Okay.
Nothing really surprised me.
Okay.
So, and in the end, I think kind of the initial reason why she was on the run was sort of weak, but
Right.
who cares? It was a fun ride.
Yeah.
So,
That's interesting. I wish I was a fast reader so that I could just be like, okay, let's.
Do you
It's a
ever
good book,
listen to books?
I do.
Does that help?
It does.
Is
Yes,
that-
I
I could-
tried to get Pest Control on audio. It doesn't. I don't think it exists.
probably
Or
not
if
because
it
it's
does,
older.
then it was extremely expensive.
I've witnessed her listening to a book and it goes like
I listen to it like 1.75
and I'm like,
speed.
Caitlin, it's like at 3. Her and Michaela listen to them so
They-
fast. I don't even know how they're hearing
You
it.
have to get in the zone. Like, I had to build
couldn't
up to
do
that
it.
point and like listen to them on speed like that because I have to like get a pace in my head going and do other things. Dakota gets mad though. He gets really mad at me because he walks in. He's like, "Turn that crap off right now! I can't even understand. It's making me crazy."
I listened to them
That's
about
what I would
1.5 to 1 3/4, but the one I'm listening to right now, I had to do it at just regular speed, and it's killing me. But she had such a thick British accent, the reader does, and I couldn't understand her. And then sometimes she whispers, and then I'm like, I didn't hear a word she just said, so I just slowed it down. But it's like painful. I'm like beating my head against a wall. It seems so slow at normal speed.
I do prefer to listen. It does help me because I can do other things while I'm, and it sets the pace for me. Where when I read, like I go back and then I have to slow down. Like you skim read or whatever, I couldn't even begin to do that. I'm just not that talented when it comes to my reading. I love reading deeply, but it takes me a long time. Like it's just my mental process, I guess.
The sections on this that got kind of slow, I was speed reading through those, but normally
I
I
want to
don't
learn
either.
how to do it. There's got to be tricks to teach yourself.
Oh,
how to read
I bet we
faster.
have a book.
We probably do.
how to speed read.
How to learn how to read faster.
So
Improve
do
your
you
reading
want that?
speed.
Sure, I'll
Okay.
read it.
You said you wanted to read it, so
She's probably gonna get it done tomorrow.
it might smell a little bit like cigar because it was sort of.
Well, I
Doing
can't
it while
smell
smoking
anything
cigars.
yet.
Oh, well, perfect.
So smells great.
It was also one of those books because she bought it for me, and I told her, I admitted to her, the first thing I did when I got the book was I smelled it because it was one of those paperback books that smells like a paperback book.
Mm-hmm.
I love books like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's got the cover like the one you got me. That's really nice. So like,
I love that like books are like changing to these
this
kind
is
of
the
covers.
best. This is my favorite kind of cover. Like, I'd rather
Yes.
have this than a hardback. It
Yes.
just feels so nice.
Mhm.
It is nice. I love it. That's like every book I buy is like this material.
Well, pass it down here. I want to touch it and feel it.
You'll never go
so
back.
good.
Is it smell like cigar?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I love cigar.
Figured
I was
it
about to say, that's
The
probably
cover
right.
I
does.
do like
The
the smell of
inside
cigars
doesn't.
too.
But the cover does. Smells
So
like.
if you could go, so I'm assuming that everybody would go back and do the same thing, like Bree suggests the same things, or like knowing what you know now, would you change your suggestion at all?
I'd get you a romance. I'd just do
100%.
it. You know.
Oh no! Next time I know what to
Well, I want to hear what
anticipate then.
Samantha has to say about my choice, and then I'll tell you.
So, okay, Lori suggested The Silent Patient by Alex. I have no idea how to pronounce this, but I think it's Michaelides.
What is
Michael
Michael's last
Lees?
names?
And
I don't know how you
so this was a book. I am so bad at describing books because I'm like da-da-da, and then I skip around. Okay, so this is my best description. So this book is about a psychotherapist named Theo, and he is kind of investigating and learning about this woman named Alicia Berenson, who has been accused of killing her husband, murdering him, and she tried to commit suicide, and now she is silent, hence the title Silent Patient. So she's in this mental institution, and this guy Theo goes and he decides to become her, what do you call her? Like her therapist,
Counselor,
basically.
therapist, yeah. He leaves a high-paying job to go to this
Yes.
public or governmental criminal institute for.
That's
Yes.
interesting.
Yeah.
So basically, he really feels like it starts out, he feels like she did not murder her husband, and he's trying to get to the bottom of what happened. And so, so throughout this book, I was getting these like vibes from the different stories going on, from his story and her story. And I like just the whole time I was like, this is just really weird because it's like very similar stories. But I'm not going to tell you like the ending twist. But Alicia's story is that she had been seeing this person outside of her home for a couple weeks, I think, right?
Before the murder.
Before the murder. And she described it as this man who was just watching her. And she would see him outside, but when she told her husband Gabriel, he would never see this man.
So she's not dating this man.
No, not the one that's.
Oh, you said
stalking
she
her.
was seeing this man, so I thought.
No, like seeing,
With her
like,
eyes, actually
actually
see.
She's telling her husband she's seeing this man. I'm confused.
I've been dating.
Yes.
Wait,
So,
what? Okay, so
yeah.
this random guy is showing up.
So this.
Okay, I'm
And
following.
her husband Gabriel is like, hey, you're like going crazy. You need to go see like a therapist. So he hires his friend Christian to kind of be her therapist under the table, like cash under the table. And so it's basically just this guy Theo, the psychotherapist, trying to figure out what happened. And I hate that I can't tell you what was going on. I'm going to tell Beth Ann after the podcast, but I'm not going to ruin it on the
because
podcast.
she said you're never going to read it anyway because you're too slow. So I will tell you in a
It's,
record.
my husband is reading it now too, and he really, really likes it.
Is it an audiobook?
But
It is an audio. I listened to it.
Oh, that's right.
I will
That's right.
say she starts opening up to Theo and kind of communicating through him, and she ends up giving him her diary. And so Theo's going through her diary, trying to figure out what happened on this night and how her husband was murdered.
Wasn't she tied up too? So it was.
Her story was that this stranger that had been stalking her came into the house, tied her up, and basically her husband walked in and he shot him. But when her husband was found, her husband was tied up and he was shot. So the stories weren't lining up. And you guys you have to read it.
Yeah, she never said a word from the day police came into the house and her husband died. Not through her trial.
Yes.
Not to an
and
attorney.
everybody
They
thought,
don't know. They don't know if it was shock, if she's just being silent.
Everybody
Stonewalling.
thought
And she's in
Stonewalling.
prison or in a mental
she's
Mental
in a mental
is-
institution.
Oh, okay.
But she's been convicted of killing him.
And everybody thinks that she's lying except for Theo, the psychotherapist.
It's a good psychological twist.
I liked it too because it really makes you think about like your own mental thoughts. It gets really deep.
Yeah, you were
into
saying that like, what was it? A couple days? No, it was a little while ago because you finished this book fast. That you were like, I'm kind of worried and concerned about my own like perception and like reality.
And
I was
she's
like,
seeing
what?
this person, and I think they were trying to think, no, you're not, no, you're
Yeah.
not, and she's like, am I really losing it? Am I, before all of this, and then
Yes.
the book is she's telling her story, obviously in her mind in a sense,
But
but she's not saying it out loud.
Throughout the story, I definitely got some hints of the ending. But I didn't get it exactly, but I was like, there's something going
So
on.
it surprised you.
It surprised me, but I was like, okay, I understand.
Who's the
Why?
narrator? Theo? Or
It
her?
Theo
goes back
is
and
the
forth,
narrator,
and
and
then there's chapters with her in there.
It's from her diary.
Okay.
Oh.
Okay.
So, yes, it's through Theo's point of
So
view.
it's been a while since I listened to it, but
But I would consider this like the outcome is probably like nothing that I've ever read before.
So is it supernatural at all?
no,
No,
Oh, it's just like.
just has a
you
good
just
twist.
have to read it. You're just gonna be like,
Well, I can't now because you're gonna.
You can't. Don't tell her.
me.
okay, no, I'm gonna tell her because I know that she's not gonna read it. But yes, I really, really, really liked the book.
So would the passenger be a psychological thriller too? Or
No.
would it be so it's just like a mystery? He's gonna
Thriller.
no.
Really bad.
Is it just
I
fiction?
wanna,
It's trash.
No, I want to cuss. So
I don't think you're supposed to do
I
that.
know. So I'm staying silent.
Unless you can throw your voice to be someone else's.
I
I
can
think-
say anything but the F word, apparently.
That's from.
And that's about what I was about to say. So
Oh, well,
okay.
you would have.
Sorry.
You'd have been in trouble.
yeah. No, she's in this one the passenger. The narrator is definitely messed up, but she's not psychologically messed up. She just a series of bad mistakes.
Yeah.
Bad decisions.
That's
Bad
a lot of
decisions.
bad decisions.
Oh yeah,
Happens
one
a
after
lot.
another.
It happens.
Yeah.
I mean,
You would, if
Yeah.
you like The Silent Patient, you would like Stone the Dead Crows too. You would
Okay.
like that. It's a lot of the same type of twist at the end, and I have a whole list of psychological thrillers I can send you that I've read this year.
So, would you ever accept a suggestion from us ever again?
Oh, I love mine, so I certainly would.
I would, because I mean this is my favorite kind of thing to do because I never would have picked this up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
And I was never going to pick up The Silent Patient because I was like, I'm one of those people, I don't know why I'm like this, but I'm like, okay, everybody is like reading it, so I don't think that I want to read
I
it.
thought it was that other Silent Patient book for a while there that you were
Yeah.
reading.
No.
It's older. The Silent Patient's not new.
Yeah, but it just became like popular for some
I
reason.
think it's on some of those true crime podcasts or
Yes.
Facebook
Oh.
list, and I think that's why it seems so popular all of a sudden because we're paying attention to those, and
Yeah,
it's back on those lists.
but it's definitely like a viewpoint that I would have never like picked up and read, like the way it's being told. Because usually I'm like a female character lead. Book
Have you read The
authors.
Push?
No.
Read The Push.
Okay.
It's good too,
Yeah. So.
and it's a female. It's a female character. It's the main character.
But I liked it, and I like it enough that I'm gonna go buy it.
Well, I would have bought. I didn't buy it for her. I sent her the library version, but then bought her a little gift.
She did. She bought me a I can't say what it says. on
Yes, you
here.
can.
I can. I can say
Well, I
it.
don't know why not.
It says
It's a pencil cup that looks like a book.
It's a pencil cup, and it's really cool. And we'll leave a little pause here just in case we have to edit this out. But it says, "Girls who don't read are skanks."
Oh, I think that's perfectly acceptable.
But it looks like it looks like an old Nancy Drew cover.
Yes,
an old
it does.
mystery
It's
cover.
a really cool cup. I was like, oh my gosh, it's so neat.
It's my entire personality in a pencil cup.
And I got the audio version online, so Beth Ann sent me a nice little distress
de-stressing
kit, a little wine glass and some socks and
cute.
some bubble or bath bombs, so it was nice.
Trisha helped me pick it out.
Oh, and I just bought you a book that you're never going to finish reading that you hated.
Next time we gotta
Feel a
send
little
Doug.
inadequate.
Next time we'll send Doug some bath
I'm not a
bombs.
book buyer. So that's why I thought I'll send to the library copy. I'd rather buy you a fun gift, but you are a book buyer. You are a collector
am
of books.
a serial book buyer. I have a
truth.
serious issue with buying books, and I think
the truth.
within this last couple weeks, I've probably, not even kidding you, bought 30 books.
I just have nowhere to put 30
Wow.
books.
No.
She got rid of a lot when she moved.
Nolan's building me a sliding ladder bookshelf, which I'm really excited
The
about.
bougiest person I've ever met in my life.
I'm so excited. And so I have to fill it, of course. It is
Not day one.
No, maybe not day one.
Just
but
in the first week.
I've also opened up my reading, my reading likes to
what?
to the kind of cheesy romances
I feel like that's not a very far jump. There's really a lot of romance. That's the next step.
Yeah, so I just read
Read
one.
a fantasy.
See, I'm not a fantasy reader, but Doug suggested The House on the Cerulean Sea, and I listened to that, and it's fantasy and has mystical creatures, and it's about an orphanage of these mystical creatures, and one of them is little Lucifer.
Does Trisha like it yet? She was talking about
well,
it.
yeah, I don't know if she did or not, but I thought it was adorable. But I listened to it, and you could hear little Lucifer's voice, and just the things he said were just funny. I thought it was it was more comical.
I didn't realize it was an adult book. I always thought it was a kid's book, just based on.
Yeah, I thought it was a graphic novel when I first looked at it.
Yeah, it has a very comical kind of
does.
graphic
I thought it was
image
like
as
a-
the cover.
No, it was cute. The little mystical characters are cute, and I don't normally like that.
I bought The Love Hypothesis.
Oh, is that the one
Which
with
is-
the cute cover?
Yeah, which is it was cute. It's not normally what I read. I like more dark romance and thriller, fantasy.
It's a little terrifying what you like.
Yeah, murder.
Oh
So-
yeah, if you listen to my reading list or watch what I like to watch on TV, my husband's always like, I should be really nervous when I sleep at night.
So they both like thriller. Do you like this thriller?
I do.
Okay.
I do like I really like along the lines of what you like, Lori. That's really what I like to read. I just don't like romance. I just really want it all action. I really like fantasy and stuff like that too. I don't know.
I like
I
a
just
fast
don't
paced. I'm reading one now that's so slow. It's literally being
Yeah.
painful to listen to. But I'm
can't do that.
gonna finish it because that's just who I
I really
am.
like
but-
horror as well.
Mm-hmm.
I really like that a lot. I
Did you
a
read
lot of
Mexican
horror.
Gothic that was on our Howard County Reads list?
I haven't finished it, but I know the end.
Yeah. Oh, okay. So it's a
Yeah, but-
kind
It
of
was
a
spoiled for
horror.
me.
Yeah.
How many books have you not finished?
A lot.
See, I cannot not
I
finish.
know.
I have to finish.
yeah.
Even if I don't like it, I will
See,
finish it.
I used to be able to read a book a day. I was a fast reader. I ate up books. I forced myself to finish them, and then I had a kid. And then
That'll do it.
it
Everything
does.
just completely changed, and now I can't finish a book to save my life. So, but I'm also gotten extremely slow for some reason. I cannot.
Because you're a tired mom.
Maybe that's it. But I take forever.
There's
now.
hope. They'll move
So-
out one day. And you'll have time to read again. That's why I listen, because I have a 30-minute commute. So I can always listen in the car.
Yeah.
And then I usually walk for 30 minutes. So I have an hour and a half. I know I'm going to get in every day. And then sometimes I
can't listen.
I actually left work and took annual leave on a Friday because I had to finish, and I think it was The Push. And I'm sitting at home on my couch with my headphones in, listening to my book, and my husband comes in. He's like, "What are you doing?" I said, "I have to finish this book." And he's like, "I can't get you to sit and watch a movie, but you're sitting on the couch listening to this." I said,
different.
"Just stop talking. I've got to finish. I've got to get to the end. I've got to finish it right now."
Yeah, that's how I was over quarantine. I bought a whole bunch of books right before, so I was reading a book a day. and I would be up till like 3 a.m. and Nolan would be like,
I crave that though. Like I crave that. I want that so bad for myself. I have all these plans to finish all these things over my vacation coming up, and I know it's not going to happen. It's just so sad. It's just so sad. I have a stack of books this high
Just
on
practice.
my table. Listen.
It's okay to take you time.
Yeah.
Oh, I do, but it's always other things. Maybe it's not really you time. It's just like I have to get this done. So
Yeah, that's not you time.
I would rather paint.
I think
though.
I've mastered it.
Yeah. Mine is when Samuel usually takes like 3-hour naps. So that's when I read.
Yep,
Kid
you gotta
never
do
took
it.
naps. Never. So unfair. Your life. I swear. I want to trump it. We're trading. We're trading
Okay.
kids.
All right. Well, thank you, Lori and Doug.
No,
for
thank you
joining
for
us.
asking. I enjoyed it. It was
That was
fun.
really fun. We need to do it again next year for Christmas. We'll be gifting you books again.
Okay.
And
I'm gonna get a
Doug
romance.
is like,
I feel it. And
can
feel
I
it
have
now.
Can I have a different partner?
Oh no.
Well, we'll
We-
trade partners next time.
Or we could keep them the same. Second
We could.
chance.
That's true. Second.
No, because I'm
got-
gonna get a romance next time. I'm gonna have
It's
to-
exactly why I said it.
A romance with
Through it.
it's going to be a different kind of thriller.
No.
I think I did pretty good. I wasn't very confident about my book choice. It's like when you like go to like J. Edwards and there's 47 different flavors of cupcakes and you panic and you just get one. That was my.
And so
Reader's
you-
advisory is hard.
It is, and you read
is.
so much, and you
I
like
do.
some of those crazy series. So I was kind of nervous because I gave you what I liked,
Yeah.
and I thought she's got such a diverse reading rainbow, and I just was
It's
afraid
like-
it wouldn't be what you liked.
As
like
long as
art.
you don't suggest like nonfiction or historical fiction,
Oh,
I'll
no,
probably
yeah,
like
I
it.
wouldn't.
It's so sad that you don't like historical fiction.
Or
I don't know
Western.
what
I
you share
don't
about with.
either. I don't either.
Yeah,
So
I just
sad.
can't. I don't want
I
to know
read a
anything about
historical
history.
fiction romance this summer. I'll recommend it to you.
I was like there.
You should have whispered the romance part.
Romance.
Were they that romantic back in the day?
But it's like bearing your soul when you give somebody a book suggestion.
Yeah.
Because it's like, here's like something I love with all of my being. Be careful with it. And then it's like,
And if they
Yeah.
hate it, it's like they hate one of your kids.
See, I tried to suggest.
What kind of person likes this book?
I tried to suggest A Court of Thorns and Roses to her so many times. I know that she would love it
no, I wouldn't.
until the last book.
There are savagely inappropriate scenes. And
But it's
some-
only in the last book.
What?
But I
Why would I
promise
go through a
you.
whole
You don't
series and
finish anything
commit?
anyway.
You're not going to get to the
Yeah.
last one, yeah.
I don't see the
I'm gonna be
problem.
like 57 before you finish. the
It's a
last-
win.
Just
Yeah.
read the first one.
I know, seriously. I think
No,
that
because
she.
you aren't. I can't trust you. I'm gonna get to the part and be like, Samantha, you said. Oh, I forgot about that. Like, how could you forget
It
this?
was mild. It was
Your
mild.
mild and my mild are
I
totally
bet they
different
are.
Things. Totally different things. I'm gonna be like throwing the book across the room, like I can't ever pick that up again.
No, when I read a romance, I'm like, this has no spice. Throw it in the trash.
Nice though, like dude, we've been over this so many times. Like I can't commit to this book. If I had none of that and all just the fighting, I would be
See,
so
the first
hooked.
3 books are basically
I
action.
don't believe you.
You should believe me.
Yeah.
Well, okay, we're gonna be back next week when Beth Ann reads the first 3 books of A Court of Thorns and Roses.
In 3 weeks, she's not going to get one done.
They're literally like 8 million pages long. No.
It's gonna be great.
I'm out.
I am not, yeah.
Yeah.
All right. I think what are we doing next week? I think that we're
a
reviewing.
book I haven't started.
Yes, we are.
Shocker.
So
Behind
Beth Ann may or may not have it
Closed Doors.
finished, but I will have it finished. It's called Behind Closed Doors by B.A. Paris.
Loved it!
Is it good?
Did you love it more than The Silent Patient?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, so I'm excited. All right.
And I read all of the other ones. There's a few, not all of them, a few more.
Yes.
And The Breakdown.
Yes.
And there's another one, and they were all good, but Behind Closed Doors was really good.
All right.
Okay.
All right, so now I'm really excited. So we are going
like-
to see you guys next week when we review Behind Closed Doors.
Yay.
And we hope you guys have a good J.
A good day.
A good day.
And a
day.
good Christmas.
Yes.
Because you're going to be hearing this the 23rd.
Yes. So
Merry
thank you
Christmas.
again, Lori and
Happy
Doug, for
holidays.
joining
Thank
us.
you.
Thanks.
And we'll see you guys later.
Bye.
Bye.